Hi guys and welcome back to my YouTube channel where it is all about Amazon KDP, building passive income streams and living a life of financial freedom. In today's video, I have a very interesting and informative topic for you guys. I want to show you, or better to say, I want to give you a detailed look inside, behind the scenes in two of my high content book projects. I want to show you all the steps I did to publish those books and all the costs of those two book projects. The important question, why do I want to show you how much a high content book project costs or can cost you? The simple answer, if you are a self-publisher like me, publishing, for example, low content or no content books, and you are thinking about to publish a high content book on Amazon KDP, I think, in my opinion, it's very important to know what type of costs can you expect, how high are those costs, what budget do you have to keep in mind to publish good, high quality and successful high content book. This is the reason why I want to show you today two of my high content book projects and all the costs of those book projects, so that you know how many costs can you expect for your high content book, and you can think about if you have enough budget for those book projects or not. Before we start with the video, if you haven't done yet, feel free to subscribe. As you can see, we are so close to 1000 subscribers. Thanks for all the support lately on my channel, so feel free to subscribe. And now let's start with the video. Before I show you all the detailed informations about those two book projects, let me show you real quick my royalties of those high content books, because I want to give you the proof that I know what I'm talking about. As you can see, I selected in my royalties dashboard a lifetime cycle with 2 author names and 6 books. Those 6 books are 2 book projects. The first book project was launched in July back in 2022. I translated this book in French, Spain, Italian, English and German. And the second book project was launched in the first week of January 2023. So those 2 book projects are in total 6 high content books. As you can see in the bar chart, I launched the first high content book back in July 2022, and since then, with those 6 books, I earned royalties of over $10,000. And as you can see, the bar charts are increasing, so this is the proof that I have published high content books, that they are working very well, and you can trust the information I give you in this video today. Now we are starting with the first book project. As I mentioned, I want to show you 2 of my high content book projects. In the first section, I want to show you all steps in the book creation. After this, I want to show you what I did on my own. So for example, did I write the book on my own, or did I hire a freelancer for this work? So I want to show you what did I do myself and what did I outsource. And then the most important thing, which step cost how much. I want to show you detailed all the steps and all the costs of those steps during the book creation process. We are starting with book project number 1. As I mentioned, I published those 5 high content books translated in different languages back in July 2022. As you can see, the period I'm talking about is from April 2022 until August 2022, because you are starting in the first way with your niche research, because without a good niche, you can't create a good book project. I think that's a clear point. As I mentioned, the first step is always the niche research. I want to show you all the costs of the niche research. After this, I want to show you the step of the book creation. So I'm telling something about the writing, the editing, and so on, and how many costs are in this step of the book creation. After this, I want to talk a little bit about finding a good title. Then we will continue with the section of cover creation. After this, I want to show you if there are any costs in uploading a book, a high content book on Amazon. And at the end, I want to show you something about marketing and scaling, how much costs are in this final section. So it all begins with niche research. You have to do a good niche research and analyzing a niche, if a niche is profitable and if it is worth it to publish a high content book in a niche. Because if you aren't doing a good niche research and publishing a high content book, it's often the case that you are burning a lot of money because you are publishing in a niche that doesn't sell really well. You're burning money, you are not making good royalties, and so the book project is not successful. So the niche research I am doing always on my own. You are learning a lot doing a niche research on your own. As you can see, I use the tools of Helium 10, PublisherRocket, and the Amazon search bar. And as you can see, for this book project, I had a total cost of Helium 10 of $89 per month, and PublisherRocket $99 as a one-time payment. The Amazon search bar, of course, is for free, so during the niche research, I have a total amount of costs of 189 euros for book project number 1. If you're interested, of course, in PublisherRocket or Helium 10, have a closer look on the first links in the video description. As you can see, PublisherRocket is a very good tool. I use it every time during my niche research. You have to pay one time $97 and then you will never pay again. So all the features, all the updates are in this price included. And as you can see, it's completely risk-free because you have a 30-day money back guarantee. Also, a very good tool is Helium 10. It's a little bit expensive, but with my codes MK Publishing, for example, you can get 10% off every month you are using the tool, or get 20% off for the first 6 months. So if you're interested in those two tools, check out the links in the video description. So after I did my niche research, I found a good, profitable, high content niche and started to create the high content book. As you can see, the text creation was done by myself, so I had a closer look on the niche. What are the books typically look like? What is the content of the books? And then I wrote the whole book on my own. I think I needed 4 weeks to do the text creation, but you can do it, of course, a little bit faster if you're good in writing. Then after the text creation, you need to do a proofreading. So if the grammar is okay or the spelling is okay and so on. I did the proofreading again on my own, and I gave the book to my friends so that they are proofreading the text again, and this worked very well. You can also check out in Google, for example, Grammarly or grammar tools, copy your text in it, and the tool will check pronunciation, grammar, and so on. After this, I did typesetting, so the style of the interior of the content of my book projects. In this case, I did it again on my own. You can do a good typesetting in Word completely for free. So as you can see, I use the tools Word and a German page for grammar checking. The costs combined of the book creation are €0. So you can do it completely for free on your own and completely for free, but you need to invest a high amount of time in a book creation. After the book creation, I selected a title for my book project. I went again in the niche, had a closer look on the titles that are selling well. Combined with keyword research, I selected 2 high profitable keywords and created a good and interesting title for my book project. So as you can see, again, total costs of €0. And then the book interior was ready, the title was ready, and the next step was to get a good cover for the book. This was the first step. I outsourced a work of my book project because I can't design and I need help from outside. So I went to upwork.com, did a little research, and I found a very, very good person with a good portfolio of good cover designs. So I wrote this person a text, what I need on this cover with the title and the back of the cover, and this person made me a very, very good looking cover for 88 euros, so around about $90. So this was the first costs of this book project with an amount of 88 euros. So after this, I had my interior, I had my cover, I had everything ready, a good title, all the keywords and the book description and the product description. Then the next step, uploading the book on Amazon. Of course, you can upload the book on your own. And as you can see, the total costs, of course, are $0 for uploading on Amazon because it's completely free to upload a high content, low content, or no content book on Amazon. So after this, I launched the first book project. It was on the German marketplace, and I start running ads for this book. As you can see, I always do Amazon advertising on my own. I would highly recommend to you guys that you also do it on your own because you need to learn how to advertise on Amazon, because without advertising, you are not making money with your books. You will not have success with your books, and don't be feared in spending a lot of money because if your book project is good, has a high quality, it will always pay off. So as you can see, the costs of ads from the first book until I was break even were 316 euros. And after 4 months for this first book, I was break even. So break even means all the ad spends and the spend, for example, from the cover design compared to my royalties. After 4 months, I had all my money back for this one book project. So marketing total costs of 360 euros. And after the first book project I published on the German marketplace, the last step was scaling. So scaling means, can you redo the whole book creation cycle, for example, with a new book project or with an existing book project, just translate it in other languages and publish it on other marketplace. So this was exactly what I did. I translated into English, French, Spanish, and Italian. I used the tool deepl.com. It's completely for free. And of course, if you are creating a book in a different language, you need another cover. The cover design could be the same, but you have different titles, so you need, again, a new cover. So I went to Upwork again, contact the same person, and ask for a redesign of my cover. I gave my translation to the cover designer, and he made me 4 covers for 44 euros. Then I uploaded those 4 book projects on Amazon, and in the first month I had advertising costs of 200 euros, so gave me a total amount of costs for those 4 translated book projects of 244 euros. Now the most important thing, the final result. As you can see, my book project number 1 was completely self-made. The only thing I outsourced was the cover. And those 5 book projects are making currently between $2,000 and $2,500 in pure royalties. And as you can see, I did the book completely on my own. I wrote the book on my own. I made the research on my own. So you can create a high content book completely on your own, and this saves you a lot of money, but you have to know that it costs a lot of time. So as you can see, the total costs until the end of August were 439 euros. And if we only look on the book creation, I spent only $88 for the first cover design, and after this $44 for the translation in 5 different languages. So it could be very cheap creating a high content book on your own. And as you can see, the result until the end of August, I made very fast profit of 136 euros. And currently I'm round about a profit of 1,000 euros every single month with this self-made book project. So after book project number 1, I will show you book project number 2, and I show you the completely different way how you can set up a high content book project in a high quality way. Because in book project number 2, I outsourced completely everything. And now I will show you all the steps, all the costs of book project number 2. So in book project number 2, of course, the steps in book creation are the same. So doing a niche research, create the text, and so on. But in book project number 2, as I mentioned before, I did completely the opposite thing compared to book project number 1. I gave all the tasks to freelancers to increase the quality of the whole book project. So now book project number 2 was launched in January 2023, and we are looking from the period of August 2022, where I started my niche research, until February 2023. As I mentioned, the steps in book creation are the same, so we are starting again with the niche research. The niche research for book project number 2, I spent almost 2 weeks in doing a niche research until I found a profitable niche. Again, I did it completely on my own. I used again tools from Helium 10, PublisherRocket, and the Amazon search bar. So in this time, you have the same amount of costs, but as I mentioned, PublisherRocket is a one-time payment, so I did not spend again $99 for PublisherRocket. But if you are new in creating a high content book and want to buy this tool, you have costs of $99. So now the very important thing, the book creation. As you can see, I outsourced the text creation completely. I used a website called Text Broker. It's a German website where you can find ghostwriter that are writing your text. Then the editing, so the proofreading of the text, I outsourced too. In this case, I used Fiverr to get a freelancer that is doing professional proofreading. And after I get my text back, I did again the typesetting, so give the interior a good design that the buyer can read it easily and that interior makes a professional look for the buyer. So the typesetting I outsourced to a private person I found on the internet. And now the important thing, how much money did I spend in each step in the book creation? So text broker, so the ghostwriting costs me 1,050 euros. So it was a little bit expensive because the ghostwriter wrote me a text with almost 20,000 words. Then the proofreading on Fiverr, I spent 450 euros. And the book setting, I spent a total amount of money of 650 euros. So book setting with a professional design in the interior is very expensive. And you need to keep this in mind if you want to create a high quality and professional looking high content book. As you can see, the whole book creation costs me in total 2,150 euros. So compared with the self-made book in book project number 1, where I spent $0, it's very expensive to outsource everything or every step in the book creation. Then again, I needed a good selling and good sounding title. And again, the title, finding a title was done by myself again, but in this case, I used Facebook groups. I showed different relevant people my title and the opinion of the people who created the title. The title research or finding a good title, again, I had costs of $0. And then I needed a good looking cover again. So this time I outsourced the cover design again, but I outsourced it to a professional cover designer. And as you can see, but this time, as you can see, I spent 450 euros for cover design for the ebook version and the print version. But the quality of a professional cover designer was so good. I would say it was 50 times better than every freelancer on Fiverr and Upwork. So if you want to create a high quality cover that sells and performs very well, have a closer look on professional cover designs. So in this case, as you can see, I had a total cost of $450 for the cover. Then I was ready to upload the book on Amazon. Again, I did it on my own with a total cost of $0. And after I get the first 5-star review on my book, I started advertising. And in this case, you can see in the first month, I spent a total amount of $472. You need to keep in mind, if you have a very high quality book, a very high quality and interesting cover and title, your ads, your campaigns performing very, very well. Because the cover looks very interesting to the buyer. It's all optimized for the special targeting group. And then, of course, there are more people who are clicking on the book, and the campaigns or the costs of advertising are increasing very heavily. So you need to keep this in mind. As you can see, for the first month, I spent 472 euros. Then the last part is again scaling, but as I mentioned, the book was just published in January 2023. So I didn't scale, so translating the book in different languages, but I planned to publish the book on the French market. And this time I am looking for a professional translator through Fiverr, which will cost me around about $100 to $150. So the final result, very interesting. As I mentioned, many of those tasks I outsourced. So I gave them to professional cover designer, professional writers, and this means it costs a lot of money, but the quality is very, very high, and you are saving a lot of time. So you can focus, for example, on the launch of the book project and so on, and you don't need to waste time with creating or writing a high content book. As you can see, total costs until the end of January, 3,072 euros, and the income in the first month of January was 572. So the result until the end of January was a negative profit of 2,500 euros. So keep this in mind. If you are creating a very good, high quality, high content book, you have a lot of costs in the beginning, but it will pay off during the time, during the years, because the book project will sell very well. I see it now in February. I made almost $1,000 with this book project number 2 on just a single marketplace because the quality is so high. But you need to keep in mind that if you're outsourcing everything, every step in book creation, it's very expensive. So the final message now for creating high content books. You can do it completely on your own, but you have to keep in mind that the quality will not so high because you are not a professional writer or a professional cover designer, but you can create a high content book in a good niche completely on your own and with a very small budget. So it's completely possible to create a high content book under $100 with advertising under $200 and be successful on Amazon KDP. Or you can outsource every step in the book creation to get the most quality, the highest quality possible on the market. You have to keep in mind it's very, very expensive, but in the long run of your Amazon KDP business, it always will pay off because you are increasing the royalties extremely. So you're making with one book project between $1,000 and $2,000 in profit every single month. So now we are at the end of this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it interesting how much money a high content book can cost you. If you liked the video, feel free to put a thumbs up. If you haven't done yet, feel free to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we will see us in the next video.